I bet. The Mappa staff thought they were going home, about to meet their families for a day, and the executives were like, nah, you got this episode to drop and you want it at the end of the week, and this is the final product. Yuta was smoking to find this episode. We first see him take out Lanzo's tape once it's built. The primary objective is to be able to move between colonies, cause think about it, what will happen if there are no more players in the colony you're in? And since Kenjaku is the host, they gotta kill him in order to stop the games. Yuta doesn't want Gozo to kill his boyfriend again, which reminds me of this clip.
Hey LeBron, Ben Simmons is here. We're all good.
And look at Yuta. How did Africa hate you in order for you to look like this? And bro is saying he's gonna get all these points on his own. He doesn't need help. Then the camera cuts to him standing on the road, telling people they are close to the exit. And somehow these dumbasses are here. Correct me if I'm wrong. When they told they had the option not to enter the games, and this little guy is talking about killing me, MC was right. F them kids.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
He instead suggests they take a break, saying he paid the sorcerer that was in control of the area. He was cut short with a distant sound and shoots his sword. Then looks in and sees the two randos running from park. Maybe they will play Monopoly and the parks want their parts. Who knows? But one of them gets swallowed whole and Yuta is in shock. The guy is screaming for help with his eyes closed. Yuta runs upon him, then does the generic anime intro thing, reaching your hand out. Somehow the other guy's hand is still intact and they tap out. Yuta tries to pull him out. If it was me, I would have done the same thing. Until I found out the roaches can fly. I'll leave him and go make some points and leave the colony. The cows are really inside, bro, and there are too many. Some are coming out his mouth. Pause. Even more flying towards Yuta as he slices some of the roaches. The camera switches angles and they look like a big snake. They fly towards him and he dodges. Turns out that was a pump fake. They were going for a crowd under the bridge. Yuta tells Rika to knock down the bridge, and the characters lacked common sense, cause Yuta told them a while back to leave the area and they saw the roaches eat people right in front of them. As Rika spawns, destroying the bridge with their hands, and the camera switches angles. There are still too many of them, and Yuta goes for an upper sledge. Cockroaches get incinerated and Yuta stands there as the roaches fall like a shooting star. He should wish for Rika to come back. We get to know some curses are partaking in this, as we cut away to Yuta standing in front of Papa Roach and fixes his battle stance, cause apparently this is a Terraformers level Roach. He can hold weapons too. They get into a dramatic scene, staring each other off. The Roach attacks Yuta, deflecting it, then glides up to him and gets his arm cut off. Yuta goes for a spin move, stabbing its head and sending the bottom half to the bridge top. Yuta stops the top half with his arm and pushes it off to the water, looking like he's setting him up for the Sasuke combo, but nah. Instead, the Roach keeps floating in the air. Yuta jumps up, taking his sword back and stabs its head. I don't know if you know this, but Roach is very easy to kill. If you think you did, it just spawns in more. That's exactly what happens. Papa Roach makes smaller roaches and pushes up Yuta. He flies up, then swings on the pole, and he notices he's being watched by two people with higher points. How do you know we were watching? The two people he's talking about is me and also me. Yuta has a game plan of using reverse curse technique on his body. I know I'm a genius and all that, but I don't know how it would work. The cast then flies over to Yuta, destroying the bridge. We cut to him running. He thinks of using reverse curse technique, but if it does, the two people sensing him will find out, and you won't have a trump card over them. Also remember the people from earlier. Rika is still protecting them at the stadium, so we can't call her in. Yuta is moving like he's doing parkour in Spider-Man 2. The moves are clean. He's getting style points. The camera zooms back out, and we see the roaches fully covering the building. It zooms in again. That's all it is, Yuta. A leap of faith. He jumps, spins, then slides in the roaches, clearing all of them to reveal the main one. It then pulls its arm back with a sword, which Yuta blocks, and the curse breaker attaches its arm. The roaches penetrate the building and they come on Yuta both sides. Pause. They get closer to cover him, and he cuts between them. Some of the roaches get incinerated as Yuta stands on the ground. The twin roaches lay next to him, then start spinning around with Yuta standing in the thick of it. He then lifts his sword up as the curses get closer and stabs the ground, and uses his sword like it's a keyblade, which made the roaches scatter, leaving him standing there. He then puts his sword back on and stands on guard, with the camera switching angles again and again. We get it, something is gonna happen. Stop edging us. He then grabs the hilt and slashes the curses behind him. They pass on his face pause, which made him blind, and the curse jumps up, which Yuta received and blocks his attack. It did not fully work as he's bleeding. How do I know it was his? Cause in the show I haven't seen curses bleed red blood. Anyways, he pushes it off and slashes it for the first time. The curse goes for two attacks which are both blocked. They both fly back, staring each other off, and charge back in. The camera switches angles to show Dress, which at the fans stroke because they don't know how Dress looks like. Yuta loses the sword clash. Also his wound spawns in centerpiece as he tries slicing the curse, which it does, and uses his cleaver to cut down Yuta's stomach, puts the curse back on him, and holds him up by his neck and brings him closer. And Yuta is like, since you're already here, what's stopping me? He's been tanking down Yuta for this moment. He then goes for it and the camera zooms out to show the whole scenery, then comes back to the curse bursting up. The only thing remaining is the arms and legs scattered throughout, and Yuta stands there. Lord knows he's breaked up because he's the only one who has an experience of turning down curses. And also Gato, he slaps out Curse's balls. Anyways, he doesn't even get a breather as this girl pops up. Turns out Yuta used the reverse curse technique on the roach, which made her interested, then pushes him off with her ability, and before he could even ask what's going on, she spawns in to punch him, with him dodging and throwing back his punch of his own, but she stresses his arm, then punches his guard, sending him flying, also releasing his arm of her ability. He gets back up and figures out her ability has something to do with manipulating the space around her, which she says her ability creates the sky like it's the surface and reveals how it works. He then asks, if you're this strong, why are you fighting here? She's basically saying this is her second chance to fulfill her life desires, and employees will guarantee that because of the additional role thing. Yuta asks if she has a boyfriend or something, which had her appalled, and she like, oh my god, stop. Yuta says you kill multiple people, you cannot be talking, which ticked her off and immediately goes up to him, taking through the walls and saying Yuta cannot understand the position she's in. He then tries holding her, which she pushes, also trapping his arm, and decides to use his second arm, which is also stretched out. She then continues to push him down. The camera switches to Takamura charging up his ult, hitting him with the laser, leaving a massive damage. Yuta stands back up and the girl is nowhere to be seen, but turns out she's done the— wait, what the hell is this thing called again? These power lines. Oh my god, I cannot believe I had to go look it up. Yeah, she's standing on the power lines. Then cuts back to Yuta thinking about the people in the stadium. The game plan is to take down Takamura, since you know, he depleted the curse before. And only Keiki knows what Yuta did to the old man. And she's saying she can take both of them. In her heyday, she took multiple men at once. Then cuts to Yuta running like he's Sonic when he was saying, I got your limit right here. As he's running, multiple lasers are heading towards him. Okay, let me lock in and slow down this part. He touches the lasers, jumps on top of the rail, takes 2 steps, does the Jordan logo, spins, then dashes to the next rail, then runs up the straight line, jumps, spins, then propels his body to the next one, which he kicked down on, pushing his body to the ground. As he's running, the pole he kicked down on gets knocked over. He then grabs it, blowing off the lasers behind him. As the dust comes up, more lasers are spawning in, but this time they're locked in on his back. He looks at them like,
damn, he really about to rock my shit.
Chasing him down on the bridge and cut off to Takamura standing. He knows Yuta is not done yet. We cut back to the bridge and Yuta is gone. He used Dig Ilya, then appears next to Takamura and punches him 2 times and gets deflected on both attempts. Bro is not taking this fight for real, he's like Musashi in body. You're seeing Yuta but he's seeing a full course meal. Yuta stands on guard. He gets punched but blocks it off with his arm. The camera zooms in. They attack each other for a total of 3 times as they step back and they start banging each other. They get into a curse game struggle as Yuta loses and gets sent flying out the frame. And Bro is talking about, I'm not satisfied because I'm not fulfilled. What is this fate series quote? Anyways, he runs and jumps up to him and Yuta crashes through the building, then recovers his composure on the second one with a laser incoming. He dodges it with a matrix move and looks at Takamura as he charges in with the right and lands on the other floor. He immediately shoots him, which he dodged and runs away, and the camera shows how the building is being chopped down in half and cuts back to Yuta dodging the laser, and he has multiple story buildings falling on top of him. He's sitting on the power line looking like he's gonna shit on someone's car and does the Spider-Man slingshot move, propelling himself to Takamura and punching him before he could react, except he gets his face caught. I guess he did have time to react. Yuta still has a free hand. He throws a barrage of punches, which are hoarded off each and every one, and clobbers his face. And Yuta jumps over him and holds him in a full Nelson. Then Takamura blows a laser to the front, hitting Yuta at the back of the wall, with them going through the walls. Then Yuta repositions his head into a lotus, then flies with him through the wall, picks him up by the leg and throws him off to the window. Yuta goes up to him, grabbing the pole on the way there, then tries hitting him but misses. He looks up to see Takamura charging up the laser and proceeds to block it off with his pole. He lands, shoots another laser, with the animators blessing us with another cinematic. This is the game we love. Camera cuts back to Yuta fending off the blast, but he fails and gets blasted off again. He lands on top of the building, leaning on the dome behind him, then Pro does gymnastics, backflipping to dodge the beams like he's Simone Biles, with the beams also shooting through the dome with 90% accuracy. And tell me why none of them managed to hit Yuta while he was using reverse curse technique to heal his hand. But it doesn't matter as Takamura comes through and punches the dome like he's the culling man. Then the camera cuts to Yuta trying to lift up the piece of the dome on top of him, and he falls on the train track still under it. Takamura lands next to him and asks why he doesn't call Rika, because the legs are too bright for him, and Yuta says he doesn't need help. Pro thinks he brawn. Takamura walks inside the tunnel with Yuta walking up to him. They switch up to the running animation, and Pro's strategy is to trap him in there and blast a load over him. Pause. With no area to run to, Yuta holds his pole and imbues it with curse energy and blocks off the incoming lasers. As he's running, more lasers are incoming. He deflected and blocked them all. With the last one, Takamura holds whatever you call this. What's the verbiage I can use without sounding weird out of context? Okay, he passes a white beam at Yuta, which he tries blocking off with his pole, while the pole is burned, leaving that safe. Yuta hits this quick time event, dodging over the beam, and Takamura is like, another one. But this time is a barrage of them, with Yuta running, circulating around them to dodge, and zooms back to Takamura holding his head like he's about to stroke that thing, and pass all over his face. Pause. The laser switches to the end of the tunnel, and we cut back to Pro standing, admiring his artwork. It looks like when Jiraiya summoned that toad when he was trying to stop Kisame and Itachi. Pro's hair gets undone and he's looking like Toji when he was doing his hair. He looks down and sees Yuta going up to him, and him sitting with a Cristo Ronaldo. Had him floating in the air like he's the honored one. When he was done fixing his hair, he does a backflip in the air and charges up another beam, but Yuta comes up to him and fists his hole. Pause. It turns out Yuta was not able to stop it. It blows up with him sent flying through the window and gets stopped by damn, I forgot her name. She hits the sky and sends Yuta flying to the ground, which had Takamura pissed.
Nobody gave me the respect of a one-on-one.
He shoots a beam at her and she uses 360 cheese, rebinding it back to him. She then looks down, seeing Yuta walking up to her, and he's dead. Also, Takamura gets back up from the debris, eating his own attack. He then walks up to the rest of them, with Yuta suffering the most because he'd been spamming reverse curse technique like SGA on free throws, which had Takamura pissed off because he thought he found a worthy opponent to fight, but he's just another sorcerer. Yuta hits his hand again. With no other option, it's time for him to call in his 10-year-old girlfriend. He then puts on his ring, flexing like he got the NBA title, which had Takamura and the girl I forgot the name of shook. I'm also shocked because this Rika design looks different, and since Rika's here, Yuta is fully rejuvenated again. Everyone is still wondering how he can call her in like that. Also, he can use her for like 5 minutes, and he's like,
Let's see if we can use one of our master tools. Everyone say, all tools.
see then, what the hell? I'm so stupid. Oh, let me continue. She then provides, I'm so unserious. He then provides him with a set of weapons and equips his arm looking like a Kamen Rider. Let's get active. Rika quickly flies over to the girl in front of her, and Yuta covers his mouth, revealing Inumaki's curse technique and tells her not to move. And she says something I never noticed. The cheeks are the snake's eyes and the tongue are the fangs. The more you know. Rika and Yuta go up to her, punching her multiple times, with Takamura pulling up and running up on them, shooting a laser in between. The girl backflipping, also using 360 cheese to rebound it back to Rika, which she does. And Yuta calls her for assist, pushing himself. Also, Takamura charges up a laser. Yuta comes up to it like he's using Pegasus' comic fist, dissipating the beam and also punching him. And just through the road, Rika comes up, pushing Yuta on the bottom of the feet to the ground. But Takamura got out of there in time, then cuts off to the sky girl. Do you think I'm gonna make an effort to know her name and only remember girls that left an impression on me? Girls like Makinami and Shizuku. I have a thing of girls with glasses. She then leaves the ground like she's Gear 5 Luffy and cuts back to Yuta running, and he sees the incoming road wave, with it hitting the bridge, sending cars flying. Also, side note, can a person who's flying get unstable during an earthquake? The reason I ask this because I see Rika wobbling. Here the air also plays a factor here. Anyways, Yuta drops like he's in the battle bus. Takamura spawning back on the frame, sliding down, also shooting at him in the process. Yuta hands up at him, blowing off the blast as he made in the center. Takamura shooting at him. He dodges into a one-hand stand, then kicks him, which also Takamura returned, and cuts back to him holding Yuta's arm, shoots at him point blank. He does that too, with it going to the window, also using 360 cheese, rebounding it back to Takamura. Yuta turns back and sees her running to him. She was stopped by a punch, then uses air to his combo blade Rika, but he gets gut checked. She also returns it 2 times, but Yuta pulls his guard up, punching her guard again. Rika gets free and tries double teaming her, but she goes for the 360 cheese. Then Rika punches Yuta, which is like beating the champ next to Majin Buu. Rika punches her, but she backslaps all her punches. He gets grabbed by a leg, next to the ground, then thrown away, with her blending the pathway. Then the camera cuts back to Yuta, instantly dodges the laser from Takamura, and Buu is standing there like he's doing the Death Parade intro. And since when was he able to spin his laser attack? But it's not a full-on attack. He looks like a force field, which he managed to block, but gets sent back. Even his Super Sentai arm isn't working. Takamura runs back in. Yuta manages to get through the opening and blocks off the 3 incoming punches. Then the cameraman switches to Rika going for an uppercut, and the girl uses Sky Penny to return it back. Then he cuts back to Yuta dodging 3 punches. He spins and uses his momentum, which is slid under, with him throwing one of his own, but it was dodged and receives the kick, also missing the mark. Takamura flips backwards while Yuta runs up at him. The camera switches to the girl grabbing the air and pulling it down. Then the Yuta's Rika falling in between them. As the dust settles, Yuta looks up and sees the whole area is distorted. Man, you should stop kissing curses. Look what they doing to you. Now I'm playing. The girl is up there touching their ult, the thin ass breaker, nothing too crazy. Takamura is shocked. Yuta is being protected by Rika. He destroys the area it is standing in. With her on top of all the chaos, she looks down on him, and some random lore is dropped by the Fujiwara clan. To be honest, we do not care. Takamura is still up and running. Yuta pulls his hair, creating 4 mini Rikas to fight off the Sky Girl. He fends them off, but kills the last one and stands on it. Yuta uses curse speech, which she covered their ears, and Yuta runs up on her, with the narrator talking, and still, we do not care. Yuta cuts the girl in front of him, and she's shocked because that's the old man's technique. He then figures out Yuta's technique is copying other characters' techniques. He then punches her, but she's stopped by the wall. Also, the armor breaks off, then cuts back to Takamura getting his shit dropped. He regains his stance, but Rika is already next to him. He then punches Rika up, and fires a beam at her for good measure. Then the camera cuts to the girl talking about the past, and still, We do not care. With Rika and Takamura coming behind him, he then sends off Rika flying with a laser beam to the chest. Now it's a fatal three-way. They stare each other off, with Takamura the only one moving, beating his chest, and there's no more talking as everyone gets into their stand, leaving the Todo and Yuji versus Maito pose after they all use the backlash, but instead it's a domain expansion. So if you're using your domain, isn't your technique disabled? If then it is, why is the girl still covered up? They gotta follow the law. Turns out the roach curse is still here. Remember what I said about the roaches earlier? Yeah, and the roach went under parthenogenesis, which is the process where the roaches make their own food. Dumbass, that's it photosynthesis. That's not even close. But anyways, with the addition of the roach, the domain collapses, with everyone landing to the ground. With Yuta kicking her with the Uzumaki special, the roach goes up to her. She puts up the wall, but it didn't work, cause she needs a cooldown after using the domain expansion. She can't use her technique. Why is she still covered up? She gets her arm cut off, with it being caught by Rika and starts eating it. Then Takamura walks up to her and kills both her and the roach. The blast messed up his hair, and he strokes it back to normal, with the roach not being actually dead. He slowly walks up to him, but gets the Michael Jordan from Yuta and uses the reverse curse technique. They both stare each other off, acknowledging the moment, with Takamura charging a beam at Yuta. Also, Yuta ups his fingers and charges the hollow purple. I just can't prove it, but his capacity is lower than Takamura's, meaning he's gotta release it before Takamura reaches his peak. After all these many years, Takamura feels fulfilled, which made Yuta excited, and he's smiling like me when my friend says the same meme over and over. They fire at each other. It looks like a sparking zero beam struggle. The animators are working overtime, and you can see the tears in every frame, just for Ned King _75 to say.
In this frame, Yuta's eyes are not proportional and there are way too many colors. It's a 2 out of 10.
But anyways, Yuta loses the beam struggle again, then charges another one. But this time it's Rika. She runs up to Takamura, but Rika's power is weaker. He gets stopped with the hand, then fires a blast at Yuta. But turns out, Yuta has already recovered from using this domain. And he uses the 360 cheesy. He then finds out Yuta's technique is copy, but still hasn't figured out the requirements for it, until he thought back to when Rika ate Uro's arm. Yeah, I figured it out. The name is Uro. I am not going back to fix the past, it's already done. Then Yuta uses thin ice breaker on him, pushing him back. Rika comes in with a punch to the head, giving him a full extension on CTE. But before he goes for a thin ice breaker again, the time runs out and gets the knee to the arm, breaking it. Then Takamura runs up, swings and misses. Yuta gives him the sweet chin music, but he recovers to punch his lower body as Yuta coughs up blood. He looks at him and they trade blows. Takamura has raised euphoria because this is what real fights and squabbles are about. They continue exchanging punches, showing cuts off to the foot. Why does the floor look like pizza right here?
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Yes, sir.
They both charged up their punches in the iconic rivalry thumbnail, but don't add Sakura, still ruined the game I love. Then Takamura goes for a second punch, which Yuta easily dodges and goes up close to him and holds him off. Then the beam he deflected earlier comes back down, hitting Takamura, and he's smoking, looking like he came out of the prison pool. Fulfilled of their fight, he thanks him, then passes out. He then wakes up later, and Yuta tells him there was no point of killing him, and he let the girl go, and they were saying, "Oh, Yuta let go, fine she." Sometimes we gotta let the situation settle first, in order for people to get their different perspectives. You guys don't need them to run in blind, like every generic romance anime where the characters go on festivals and stuff. You should try and apply that in the real world, and see where that puts you. Anyways, enough about that, this video is already long already, let's wrap it up. Yuta asks for Takamura's points, now we got a total of 190 points, and yeah, that's the end of the video. And if you all made it here, thank you, that's about it, see ya.